All right, welcome back. This is Chapter 1, Section 3, Power and Exponents. So we're going to go ahead and just get started here. A product of blank factors can be rewritten using an exponent and a base. So the product of what? Let's talk about this for a second. All right, for them to be called, written as exponents, they have to be identical factors. Identical factors. That means 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. Those are identical factors. So what you're looking at here is you're looking at how to rewrite this stuff right here. So what these arrows are pointing at are each individual piece. The 2 is considered the base. The 5 is considered the exponent. Now numbers expressed using blank are called powers. So numbers expressed using exponents are called powers. 3 to the second power, or 3 squared, is 3 times 3, or 3 squared. 10 to the third power, or 10 cubed, is 10 times 10 times 10, or 10 cubed. All right, the exponent represents the number of times you multiply. So why don't you add that in there? Exponent equals the number of times you multiply. All right, powers to words. What we're going to put in here is a nice little table. Let's say you have 2 with a 5 as an exponent. This, you would say 2 to the fifth power. Now there's no special word for fifth power. You just would say fifth power. If you look at 3 squared, or 3 with a power of 2, this you could say 3, in words you would say 3 to the second power. You could also say that this is 3 squared. If you had something like 10 here as the base and the 3 up here, you would say 10. Let me write the words out for you since we're using words here. You would write 10 to the third power, or you could also write 10 cubed. Okay. The second powers you can call squared, and the cubed third powers you can say are being cubed. All right, now look at this. This 2, is it the base or the exponent? It's the base. The 5 is the exponent. The 3 should be the base. And the little number up top is the exponent. All right, so why don't you write those in on your own and make sure they match the ones above. All right, here's an example. Let's write powers and products. So write 5 times 5 times 5 times 5 using an exponent. So the base, looking over here, the base is the number that you're multiplying. So the base here is 5. And since 5 is a factor, blank times. How many times are you multiplying? Right? Over here, remember, we should have written down exponent equals the number of times you multiply. So here is a factor 4 times. Therefore, the exponent is 4. So 5 times 5 times 5 times 5 is 5 to the 4th. Now, we're doing the opposite. Write 8 to the third as a product. Why don't you arrow in here? Please remember that, remember that the 8 is the base and the 3 is the exponent. So, the base is 8. The exponent is 3. So, 8 is a factor 3 times. 8 cubed is 8 times 8 times 8. And if you actually multiply that out, you'd have to say, all right, 8 times 8 is 64. And then 64 times 8. Let's see, 4 times 8, make sure I do this right. 2, carry the 3. That's 48 plus 3, 51. 512 is what this is equivalent to. The reason we did this 512 part is it says, then find the value. All right, checking your progress. We're going to write this as an exponent. Try it, pause the video, please, and try it on your own and see how you do. But if you're not sure, remember, 4 times 4 times 4 times 4 times 4 times 4 times 4. The exponent is the number of times it is multiplied. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There are 7 fours. 7 fours. Therefore, the exponent is 7, and the base is 4. All right, write 6 to the fourth as a product of the same factor, then find the value. All right, so just like before, the exponent is the, I'm going to write it again in case you missed it. Exponent equals the number of times that you multiply. So, 4. The exponent's the number of times you multiply. So this is 6 times 6 times 6 times 6. Then find the value. So 6 times 6 is 36. 6 times 6 is 36. When we multiply 36 and 36 together, okay, make sure I do my multiplication correct. 6 times 6, 36 times 3, that's 18 and 21. I use an X, remember. You can use a box or just leave it blank. 3 times 6, 18. This time carry a 1. 6, 9, 2, 1. So the final answer should be 1,296. Now, if I made a mistake there, you should correct it yourself, but I'm pretty sure we're all right. All right, now if you have any questions on these types of things, you should make sure to come and see me at some point. Otherwise, we'll take your questions at the during class as well. So here is an example. The highest point in Utah is King Peak. It stands just a bit higher than 4 times 6, or 4 to the power of 6. So this is 4 to the 6th power. That means that there are 6 fours. So write 4 to the 6 as a, how should we write it? We should write it as a product. All right, so the way this is set up, write 4 to the 6 as a factor. Then find the value. We're actually, what we're doing is we're trying to use this terminology over here. Not as a, I'm sorry, not as a factor. As a product, sorry. So first we find the product, and then we find the value. So 4 to the 6th, that's 6 fours, so 4 times 4 times 4 times 4 times 4 times 4. Oh man, this is going to be a pain in the butt to find, but let's give it a try. So 4 times 4 is 16. Let's multiply by 4 again. 64. So 4 times 4 times 4 is 64. 4 times 4 times 4 is 64. So now I'm just going to do 64 times 64. 16, greater one. 24, 25, 24, 36, 38, 6, 5, that's 9. So the value is 4,096. That means this thing is 4,096 meters tall. That's how high the mountain is. All right, rewatch this if I talk too quickly, pause it, try it on your own, do some things to make sure you understand where all that came from. All right, now check your progress. Swimming pool. The length of a new swimming pool being built at the Community Recreational Center is listed at 2 to the 6th. What is the length of the pool? So we are following this example right here. We need to do this. 2 to the 6th. Write it as a product. So that's what 2 to the 6th is equal to, all of that. Then find the value. So 2 times 2 is 4, times 2 is 8. So 2 times 2 times 2 is 8. 8 times 8 is 64. So your answer, 64 feet. That's how long the pool is. All right, I think we're getting close. Yep, only a couple more slides. Prime factorization. We did some of this in class. Write the prime factorization of each number using an exponent. All right, so let me actually here, let's add another slide. So 108, let's do the prime factorization. This is from 1.2. It's even, so 2 times what, 54. 54 is even. 2 times 28. 28 is even. All right, let's see. Hold on a second. 28, that would be 56. Sorry, this is 27. 2 times 27. 27 is 3 times 9. 9 is 3 times 3. And now it tells us, write the prime factorization. We have done that. This is the prime that's the prime factorization right there. Okay. So we write the prime factorization out. 2 times 2 times 3 times 3 times 3. Now, it says to write products of identical factors using exponents. Let's take a look at this. Identical factors. That's 2 times 2. What does 2 times 2 mean? Well, it's being multiplied twice. So 2 shows up 2 times. So that should be 2 squared. 3 shows up 3 times. So that should be 3 cubed. And now you're done. So look at this and try pause the video, look at the example here, try 80. It's even. It's even. It's even. And it's even. So we'll bring these twos all the way down. Write the prime factorization. 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 5. How many 2's are there? 1, 2, 3, 4. So our answer should be 2 to the 4th. How many 5's? times 5. That's how we set that up. And we can use a little x here if we want to still show the multiplication. All right, check your progress. All right, try this on your own. Pause the video, try it on your own again if you're not quite sure. Let me help you out. I'll do it right now. 144. Now, we know it's even. So we could do 2 times 72. But it's also 12 times 12. You could also do 3 times something. You could do a lot of different stuff here. 12 is 2 times 6. 6 is 2 times 3. And now let's rewrite this, putting all the factors together. 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 3 times 3. So, prime factorization. Now the exponent. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2 to the 4th. 1, 2 times 3 squared. Try 162 on your own. Pause the video if you want. I'm going to keep going though. 162. 2 times 81. 81 is 9 times 9. 9 is 3 times 3. All right. Work out the prime factorization on your own. It's actually just right there. 2 times 3 times 3 times 3. And so altogether, there are 4 3s. 3 to the 4th. And it's 2 times 3 to the 4th. All right. Now, this is what we will do. We will do some of that in class. If you're not in class during this time, you should do this. Try this at home or seminar so that you're not too far behind. Do not forget to do the check your understandings. So you need to do 1 to 9 on check your understanding. All right, good luck.